Hi. 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 Hello, all my gamer friendulums. Here we are again. Here we are again. Here we are again. Here we are. Here we are. Yep, so it's another live. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Saturday is a Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, so it's another week, and I wish there was better news to report. I wish there was something to talk about in the game adaptation space. There's just never enough updates for me to have a full show just about that stuff, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of hard to not talk about the recent the recent price raise for Xbox Game Pass came out of freaking nowhere on October 1st. They suddenly just decided to drop the bomb like, hey guys, we've been having a really great year, even though we already raised the prices of the console. And even though this is an unprecedented moment where consoles are raising the price mid-generation, which has never happened before. So this generation has been the generation of greed, that's for sure. But yes, just on October, they decided to randomly just drop it on us out of nowhere. Usually things like this, you'd kind of hear about it at first. Maybe you'd hear a rumor, maybe they're going to raise the price. But no, all of a sudden, October 1st, boom, we're raising the price for Game Pass Ultimate. Hey, you give it up. I hear you over there, bitch. I hear you over there, bitch. I'm so bad at this. So what exactly changed? Again, I'm over here using the Chat GPT because I'm finding it just so stinking useful in terms of explaining everything, breaking it down in a way that, helps me out. Why is it black? But over here, I asked Chat GPT to kind of give me some information, and just how it's able to break stuff down for me is so nice. But what's changed? The 2025 price hike. October 1st, Microsoft overhauled Game Pass tiers and raised prices on several of them. The big key change is Ultimate. Old price is $19.99, new price $29.99. But that's in America, because it only seems to matter when it's in America. But I'm in Canada, so that means it'll be even more. But at the same time, I feel like this shouldn't have to affect Canada. It should just be America getting fucked in the ass because they deserve it right now. My cat's being annoying. So that's a 50% change. Gains 75 plus release, 75 day one release per year. So we get more day one releases, but does that include Ubisoft Classics, Fortnite Crew, enhanced cloud gaming, 1440p, improved reward benefits? I could give a F about cloud gaming. I just don't. Fortnite Crew couldn't care about. Ubisoft Classics, they just dumped like a whole bunch of games in Game Pass like the other day. Supposedly classics, but looking at all those games, most or all of them are already there in Game Pass. So they were, and then they left, and they came back. So none of them look any new to me, and I don't have any interest in playing any of them. But Game Pass Premium, which was formerly standard, is now the same price, $14.99. Essential, which was core, was $9.99. Now it's still the same price. PC Game Pass also went up. So only Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. I don't know why they have to have so many different options. I mean, it just can get kind of confusing. Like, why do they need a premium and an essential? Like, to me, premium and ultimate are almost the same word. Like, to me, ultimate and premium almost feels like the same word. Like, I've always annoyed me that they had 3 tiers. Either just have a core or a standard and then ultimate, or just have essential and ultimate, or premium and ultimate. And I don't know if core still only has limited amount of games, because I played it before. I had core, but you only get access to like 25 games. So you get online access, which is BS. That's still something you have to pay for. And you get like 25 games, and most of them are games you don't even want to play. But the only reason I got core was so I could play Fallout 76, which continually annoys the F out of me that they still want us to pay just to do that, when they really don't need to. Some regional price changes were also published in a Microsoft PDF of Game Pass price updates. So this would be nice to look at, seeing that no one seems to give a shit about how much the price goes up in any other countries at all. I don't know why anyone still gives a fucking shit about anything that America does. Because Anyway, sorry. I'll just share entire screen. My problem is when I share entire screen, it does that. But this ChatGPT linked me to a sheet which shouldn't be so hard to find, but breaks it down for everywhere, not just America spelled with 3 Ks, which is forever how your country is going to be spelled forever for the rest of all your lives. It's no more America with the C, it's America with 3 Ks. That's just how it's going to be. Deal with it. So Game Pass Ultimate, $18.99. New, $22.99. This must be old. Because if it's $29.99 in America, then it's going to be like, $34.99 in fucking Canada. How old is this thing? This is what ChatGPT linked to, but this doesn't look right. This doesn't seem right. How can this be right? I'm looking at a PDF that's in the browser, and it's directly from the Xbox website, xboxservices.com. Assets. This doesn't seem right, man. This can't be right. How can it be $22.99? I mean, I hope it is. That'd be great. For it to be cheaper in Canada, just as an extra fuck you. Because anytime anyone can say fuck you to America, I'm down with that. Because fuck you, America. Now, this is the big old picture that everyone's been looking at. Unbelievable games, unparalleled access, new ways to play your way. Like how they use these big old words, and then the price itself is like tiny. You can barely read it. Plus, like the fact that they don't. You say they're not going to say, "Hey, we just raised the price. We just updated it, and we including 2 different plans that are the exact same as the old plans. We just gave it a different name." How much does Game Pass Ultimate cost in Canada? Yeah, see, $33.99 a month. That's the right price. That PDF that they link to, I'm thinking to just do a PC Game Pass. Well, it seems cheaper, but the stupid PDF they link to in ChatGPT is old, so I don't know. It's the wrong one. But over here on actualxbox.com, the Canadian site, $33.99 a month is how much Game Pass Ultimate is going to cost now in Canada. Now, if you guys are thinking $29.99 is bad enough, $33.99, that's even worse. Also, thanks for being here, Noble Bull. You're awesome. But like every other channel, as you may or may not know, we're all talking about the same thing. This completely random, out of nowhere price increase. And if you look at comparisons to previous increases, as I had asked ChatGPT to do that for me, to understand how big the increase is, it helps to look at prior adjustments. Oh my god, those fucking assholes outside and their stupid why won't they just stop? Fuck's sakes. In September 2024, Microsoft raised the price of Game Pass Ultimate from $16.99 to $19.99. So that was just about exactly a year ago. Before that, there was a $2 increase from 15 to 17. In July 2023, which was about 13, boom. Over the last several years, the Ultimate tier has gradually climbed from 15 to 17 to 20, and now 30. Some commentary notes that over a span of 5 years, the price of Ultimate has increased more than 30%. In short, the 2025 increase is by far the most aggressive single jump in Game Pass history. Previous steps were more gradual. Some analysis sources call this the biggest upgrade yet, biggest price hike yet. They just said that. Yeah, so PC Game Pass went from $11.99 to $16.49. So that's like a pretty big jump too, really. No cloud gaming on PC Game Pass? I don't know. I just personally do not care about cloud gaming. Every now and then I'll give it a try just to see what it's like. And I'm like, all right, whatever, kind of impressive, but I'd still rather just have it downloaded on my console. Why Microsoft says they raised the price? Official rationale plus analysis. Microsoft has given several justifications supplemented by journalists and industry commentary. Here's a breakdown. Official justifications. Microsoft claims the new price reflects the addition of more games, more partner content, enhanced services, better cloud gaming, and more day one releases. The more day one releases is what I want to know more about, because all the day one releases they do are, exclusive Xbox games. So are they just going to have more exclusive Xbox games, or are they going to doing day one releases for multi-plat games? That's the one thing I want to know more about. From The Verge, we know not everyone wants the same thing. So we're evolving Game Pass to offer more flexibility, choice, and value. The logic here is that the cost of securing and delivering high-quality games, as well as improving cloud infrastructure, has gone up. The higher price helps sustain that. Some coverage hints at that as a motivation. Windows Central. That's from Jez's article. Market macroeconomic pressures. Microsoft and many in tech media often cite inflation, rising operational costs, and supply chain pressures as factors that make previously sustainable pricing less viable. In parallel, Microsoft also raised price, hardware, and game prices. The thing about PC Game Pass, though, is that you can still play it on your console, right? Or is it different? Because when I have regular Game Pass Ultimate, whatever, and I can play on my PC as well with that. But with PC Game Pass, can you only play on PC? Because I'm not aware if that's how that works. I gotta plug in my tablet before it turns off. I got all my tablets around me so I can see what the comments are. Even though, from what I can tell, you're the only other person here. But yeah, if you're watching this, Noel, do you know if you have PC Game Pass, can you only play on PC? Because with Ultimate, you can play on PC and console. And I've even tried to play both at the same time, but it won't let you. It'll bump you out. As in, I'll be on my Xbox playing a game, and then I'll go to PC Game Pass to try to play something, but it won't let me do it. Microsoft and many in tech media often cite inflation, rising operational costs, supply chain pressures as factors to make previously sustainable pricing models less viable. In parallel, Microsoft also raised hardware and game prices. The price increase came alongside a restructuring of the Game Pass lineup, core and essential, standard premium, and rebalancing of what each tier includes. Microsoft argues this allows more choices and tiers matched to different user needs. Many users and analysis see the price as too steep or argue that while Microsoft is adding content, the benefit may not justify such a large jump, especially for existing subscribers. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm so bad at this. Some point out that the increase is so large it could push users to cancel, and indeed there has been a surge in cancellations. Faux shout. I'll just note that Microsoft is reacting to the rising costs of AAA game development, especially with games that are increasingly expensive to make or rely on cloud delivery infrastructure. There's also speculation that part of the move is strategic positioning, making the ultimate tier more premium and pushing users towards it, or better, monetizing high engagement users. Some observers connect this to Microsoft acquisition strategy and company scale. As one former FTC commissioner suggested, consolidation sometimes leads to pricing power. Do you want me to dig into that? The way they ask those questions is so weird. But yeah, I do want you to dig into that, Mr. ChatGPT, or Mrs., or they, or whatever. I should not assume what ChatGPT's gender is. God, I'm so intolerable. Okay, here's a deeper dive into how the October Game Pass changes affect Canada and other regions, even though Canada is the only country that matters now. Every other country can fuck off. JK. That's what I was looking for before. Canada pricing post change. In the Canadian Xbox Store, the ultimate tier is now listed at $33.99 a month. Standard console only in Canada is shown as $22 a month, which is shit. Like $22 a month for fucking standard now is garbage. Like that just makes the lower tiers even more of a ripoff, really. None of the tiers are really worth it. Like if I want to continue to play Fallout 76, I would have to buy one of these tiers just to play online, and that's like killing it for me to like wanting to do that. Because I wish there was a way to just get Bethesda to be like, stop making it mandatory to need online to play. You don't need it. Marvel Rivals doesn't need it. Fortnite doesn't need it. Why does 76 need it? The rebranding of tiers, cores to essential, standard to premiums, global. So Canada will follow the same naming and structure. One caveat. Regional prices often reflect local currency tax and marketing positioning. So CAD pricing won't always scale exactly at the same percentage as USD. In Sweden, the ultimate tier is rising from 185 to 285 SEK, whatever that is. In Europe, more generally, the new ultimate price is cited as $26.99, up from $17.99, or $19.99 equivalent in some markets. To ask us how much more or less expensive Game Pass is now compared to alternatives, here are a few data points. PlayStation Plus Premium. So there's like a PlayStation Plus and a PlayStation Plus Premium now. $17.99 a month. Access to classic legendary trials, games trials, streaming perks. Does not generally include day one full first-party releases. Comparison to Game Pass Ultimate, much cheaper, but not directly equivalent in terms of new first-party titles on day one. Game Pass Premium Essential, $14.99 to $9.99, reworked to include cloud gaming and expanded libraries. Premium adds Xbox PC games, but excludes certain day one exclusives. What does that actually mean? Certain day one exclusives, like COD. So you get some day one exclusives, but not all. Many users may see this as a good middle path, costs significantly less than Ultimate, though with trade-offs. Other subscription services. I don't know why they would include Stadia. Stadia died so fast. Difference in library exclusives, performance device support. Game Pass aims to set itself apart via first-party day one releases, high library volume, and deep integration. At first, I thought that said interrogation. The main point. After the increase, Game Pass Ultimate is now a premium tier in price. It's farther above many other flagship subscriptions, so Microsoft is positioning Ultimate as more of a high-end package rather than a mass market price. So it's saying, hey, if you don't have enough money, then you can't get Ultimate. It's making it seem like it's for a certain group now of like, oh, well, if you don't make a certain amount of money, then if you're poor, then Game Pass Essentials for you. If you got money, Game Pass Ultimate is for you. Bitches. Huh. So I just said yes again to whatever it wanted to say. I can map the Canadian tier pricing side by side and compare with Canadian PlayStation and Nintendo's services too. Okay. These are basically all the articles that ChatGPT used to call that information. Game Pass Ultimate Canada before and after. Old price, $22.99. I mean, that's an $11 price increase for us. For y'all, it was $19.99. Now it's $29.99. Premium, $17.99, $16.99. See, for us, it did change. In America, it didn't change at all, I don't think. I think it stayed the same. See, premium, 17 went up by $1. Essential went up by $2. The ultimate price increase in Canada is quite steep, similar in magnitude to the US increase, though offset somewhat by exchange rates. Essential and premium got smaller bumps, but part of the change is restructuring of what features and library access each tier has. Microsoft is promising more features, games, cloud gaming in the new structure. To compare the competitive landscape in Canada, here are the recent PlayStation Plus price changes in Canada. Sony raised their rates in mid-2025. To compare the competitive landscape in Canada, here are the recent PlayStation Plus price changes. Sony raised their rates in mid-2025. Here are the new annual prices of PlayStation Plus. Wait, does PlayStation have 3 tiers as well? An essential, extra, premium? I don't think Xbox even offers a yearly option, like to just buy a whole year right out. I used to do that for like gold, I think. I think for gold, I remember when gold used to just be like $60 a year and that was it. Here are some comparisons and implications for Canadian gamers, given the recent Xbox Game Pass PlayStation price increase. Cost top tiers is now much closer in premium services. Xbox Ultimate is now $33.99 a month. That's a high rate. PlayStation's premium or full features year-long cost has jumped, but if you break it down monthly, it's lower than Xbox Ultimate's $33.99, especially if paid annually, which I don't know if that's an option. At the poo. I don't know if I should just poo in the middle of my show or just hold it. It could be bad for me. All right, enough about that. Let's look at the new Burning Springs update coming to Fallout 76. Burning Springs is a major free expansion update to Fallout 76. They're calling it the game's largest update since 2020, which was Wastelanders. Set to drop in early December 2025. And yet still they don't have any solid release date and they're 2 months away. Before full launch, it will be playable or at least testable on PC via the public server test that starts October 1st. Though I believe you need to be a first member of Fallout first, I believe, to be part of that test server. I'm not sure, which would be BS because they're essentially saying, well, if you want to test our game, you have to pay. And we already paid for the game. So that's BS. Setting in tone, the expansion adds a whole new region, post-nuclear Ohio, accessible by crossing the Point Pleasant Bridge from Appalachia. Yeah, if you try to cross that bridge now, it'll just stop you eventually. But it's going to be on the very far left of the map. If you know the Fallout 76 map, then it's on the far left. There's all these spots on the map that are just blank. So it's eventually they're going to become an area. The aesthetic and feel are designed to evoke Fallout 3 in New Vegas, a more arid, desert-like landscape with raiders and deathclaws. Because Ohio has been barely touched in prior Fallout lore, the developers see it as a bit of a blank slate, allowing them to add new stories, factions, and environmental features. Shut up! Jesus Christ. Google Chrome's getting annoying with these notifications. I gotta turn it off. Key features and content. Here are the major new things players can expect from Burning Springs. New regions and locations. Over 20 new locations in Ohio, including towns, villages, camps, etc. In Central Hub, Highway Town, which includes a social activity hub called The Last Resort. Other named places include Jackson Junkyard, Athens, possibly Rust Kingdom, etc. New questline story. A main questline kicks off the Burning Springs region. It will introduce new characters, including the Rust King, a super mutant antagonist authority figure in the area. Players will engage in either opposing or interacting with the Rust King in various ways through the story. One of the big new mechanics is run via the ghoul. One of the big new mechanics It's run via the ghoul. Okay, I don't know. The way that's worded is confusing, but the big update, the best part of this whole update is the fact that the ghoul's going to be in it, and it's going to be voiced by Walter Goggins, who I don't know if you've seen the show, but he's so goddamn good in that role. Now that right there is the closest thing to an honest conversation we've had so far. I've watched season 1 enough to like know some of the quotes already. I watched season 1 of Fallout like more times than I've ever watched the full season of any show. There are 2 tiers of bounties: grunt hunts, lower level bounties, more accessible; head hunts, tougher, more public, server wide, higher stakes and rewards, new enemies, creatures, and beasts. Death Clouds and Raiders are central threats in the new area. Duh, they always have been. Rad hogs, mutated pigs or hogs that have also become camp pets, or can be used at least as decor pet companions, in addition to being hostile when wild. So why do they only take till now to introduce mutated pigs? They have all other mutated animals, and now all of a sudden they're adding mutated pigs. Or are they hogs because they're wild hogs? I mean, is it only a pig if it's in a farm and you're raising it yourself and then you're eating it for bacon? Public events and world activities. New public events like sinkhole solutions and gearing up are included. Dynamic weather effects in Ohio, sandstorms, etc. Yeah, I guess there really aren't a whole lot of really deserty, arid regions in the game. There's some areas that are, but thinking about it, there's nothing that's very deserty like New Vegas was. Fishing expanses like new fish species, local fish, etc. Yeah, the whole new fish thing isn't anything that I care about. The only time I fish is when it's part of my daily points. But I would never just fish just because. It's kind of a pointless add-on. Camp cosmetic additions. The Radhog Camp pet. Radhog as a pet is a new addition. Wild Radhogs roam, and you can acquire a pet version. New weapons and gear, legendary items tied to the new content. And this here is the big thing. The connection to the Fallout TV show. The update is being timed to coincide season 2 of Amazon Prime's Fallout TV series, which begins mid-December, aka December 17th. That's the actual day of release for season 2 of Fallout, which I cannot wait for. The Gogmeister is returning as the ghoul in the game with voice and likeness. The ghoul provides a bounty hunting missions from Highway Town, so the show tie-in is more cosmetic. It is embedded in gameplay. But is Highway Town going to be a place in the show? I don't think so. It's going to be continuing off where it was already, so they're still going to be in the California region in the show, as they're going to be in New Vegas. I wonder how much of New Vegas they're going to be in, though. Release and testing. PTS public test server opens October 2nd, so like 2 days ago. Full release expected early December. Still really confused about how they don't have a solid release date with 2 months to go. They really should. If they know when they're going to release the show, why don't they know when they're going to release the update? This is possibly the largest expansion Fallout 76 has seen in 5 years. A lot of them are saying it's the largest. Some are saying it might be. So I've heard it that is the largest they've ever done. Some are saying it's the largest they've done since whenever. The physical scale map size is being compared to expansions like Skyline Valley, and Ohio's region has many new locations. They should have some kind of deal of like, if you get Amazon Prime when the show is on, then you should get like a month of Game Pass for free or something. That would be a cool idea to like package, to have some type of package deal with like if you get Prime, or maybe if you get a month of Game Pass Ultimate, or 3 months, you'll get Prime for free, or you get Prime and you get Game Pass for free. They should do stuff like that. Bethesda seems to be pushing for a resurgence, expanded lore, more content, greater social hub activity, and deeper features. Things to watch, unknowns. Every big update also has trade-offs or things that are less certain. Here are what to watch for, or what is still a big vague. Difficulty and access for new players. Some content headhunts full exploration of Ohio seems quite challenging. For newer players, the grunt hunts may be more accessible, but venturing deep into Ohio will likely demand good gear experience. Well, are they saying that like if you're a brand new player, you shouldn't even bother going over there? Balance and performance. Big map changes, new dynamic weather, new events, lots of enemies can stress performance. How well it will run on less powerful hardware is to be seen. Well, it also uses the internet to run it, so you need to also factor in the fact that when you're online, if your online is crappy, the game could load slowly. Happens to me all the time. Progress and rewards. It's not entirely clear how the rewards for new events and bounties will scale, how much they overlap with existing loot, how compelling the legendary unique item gear will be in the long run. Some previews suggest really cool gun rewards, longevity, and post-release support. Whether this gets a lot of follow-up content, more updates, bug fixes, expansions in Ohio, or remains more one and done will affect how well it revitalizes interest. Well, hopefully it'll get interest revitalized just like season 1 did when y'all fucked up and weren't ready for season 1 being so popular. But I don't think this one's going to make the games as popular as the first season did. But I hope it does. I want it to, but I don't think it will. Atomic Shop monetization. Some cosmetic new pets like Rad Hog Pet may be in the Atomic Shop. Yeah, you can't get free animal. You can't get stuff like that for free in the store. That's for sure. You only get like utility stuff like carry boosters or whatever. So it just asked me if I could pull up gameplay previews, impressions from people that have tried the PTS and have had so far. Would that be useful? Yes. Here's a roundup of hands-on impressions, previews, and early player feedback for Burning Springs. As with all PTS preview content, features, balance, performance are subject to change. What previews are highlighting? Public events bring chaotic fun. In Digital Chumps review, I've never heard of who Digital Chump is. Is that like a person or a group? It's weird that the first person they mention is someone I've never heard of. I guess it's just a big site. One of those sites they probably just made randomly 20 years ago, and now it's huge. In Digital Chumps preview, 2 new public events, Sinkhole Solutions and Gearing Up, were described as gloriously chaotic. Game Rant's hands-on article notes that side missions and bounties give meaningful exploration incentive, and new region feels distinct. Yeah, I mean, that's true. A lot of regions kind of do feel the same. They even look the same, and they kind of feel the same. Previewers often say the scale of a new region, enemy encounters, number of friends give a sense that it's a big expansion and not just incremental content. Map region design, ambience, world building. The Ohio region, Burning Springs, has a more arid desert feel, likely to contrast with Appalachia's forests and mountains. Previewers say the environment helps give the expansion a fresher, grittier tone. Sorry. Small touches in environment and storytelling, loot, environmental clues, corpse placement are praised to help immersion. A new central preview coverage notes the world feels layered with lore. Well, it's always been like that. The environmental storytelling of Bethesda is always something they've been so good at. Just like showing things that happened just with how things are laid out, and it's amazing how they managed to do that all over the map in random places. From inside the vault. So this is from Bethesda's actual website, as this gets information from all over the internet. From inside the vault release notes, map expansion is Bethesda's largest so far, with many new locations, new terrain hazards, poisonous water, rust toxin from a local chemical plant, and hazards. Bounty hunting is a focal new mechanic, but with cautions. Multiple previews emphasize that bounty hunting via the ghoul is the central loop for repeatable high-value content. So can you just infinitely go to the ghoul and get more bounties like over and over and over and over? Or do they redo every day or two? Or kind of like every day you can only do a certain amount of grunt hunts or head hunts? The grunt hunt tier and the head hunt tier, more challenging server-wide with more players involved. I don't even know what that means exactly. Like why would that change the server or who gets involved? Like, I don't know. Does that mean you're in competition? Like if you set out on a head hunt, but there's other players on that same server, does that mean like you have to get there before they do? Because that wouldn't even make sense. It's like, hey, go to this location and kill this person. Then you go there. Yeah, that person's already dead. Someone else killed him. That doesn't seem to make sense. Some early feedback notes that mutations on bounty targets, i.e. buffs applied to target enemies that cascade to nearby enemies, introduce interesting tactical depth, but can also skew difficulty. The new legendary mods tied to bounty hunting are described in the PTS notes with interesting abilities. IG, adrenal, lucid, etc. Their balance and drop rates are being watched closely by previews. New creatures, pets, and environmental threats. They mean for that to rhyme? Rat hogs, mutated hogs, are a big talking point, hostile in the wild, but also offers a camp pet in a makeover form. Previewers find this a fun cosmetic. Yeah, but to get him as a pet, you probably just have to buy him in the store. I think that's the only way you can get an animal as a pet. But I've only ever had a companion at my camp. I've never had a pet. But I've only ever seen them being available if you get them in the store. Either with points that you bought or points that you got from building up your dailies. Dustclaw Raiders and a more dangerous enemy layouts are part of the new region's threat mix. Some previews caution that may push difficulty up substantially in parts of the map. Terrain hazards like toxic water, sandstone, and rust environmental effects add new traversal danger. So what's the rust? There seems to be a lot of attention paid to rust, as there's a new antagonist called the Rust King, and now they're having this new environmental effect, kind of like, nuclear toxic waste that you get when you get near things that are toxic. You get radiation poisoning. So now is there a rust poisoning thing that's available? Like, do you have to get a new aid for that? Like, instead of like a rat away, there's rust away. New weapons, mods, loots, buildable experimentations. Previews note that the new mods and loot introduced with bounty hunting encourage more build diversity and experimentation. A new hand cannon weapon is in the PTS for preview with mod flexibility. Do they mean the ghoul's gun? Can you get to use that gun, the gun that he has? The gun that always looked kind of like a tiny little shotgun, like a sawed-off. Emote reorganization is a welcome but small UX tweak. More emotes can be equipped without going in and out of atomic shot menus. I don't fuck with emotes like at all. I kind of wish they would just like remove that option from the entire control scheme and have something else there. On controller, at least, like I am on controller, so the directional pad is like where you get your emotes and change your weapons. So what's the community player feedback from forums, Reddit, PTS chatter? Excitement over region size and scale. The new region is amazing, and I like the bounty hunting missions. Man, they got a quote from somebody off Reddit. That's nuts. When they say Northwest, it's way bigger than Skyline Valley. Somewhere comparing expansions, names, location count, 20 plus to what's expected. Several comments worry about new content being overly punishing unless players have high-level builds or gear. I'm a little concerned. The changes to Cairo damage and removal of the slow. I just don't want my beloved shotgun to end up total rubbish. Cairo damage? What does that mean? And removal of the slow. I'm not sure what that means. These are like random quotes from people that are on Reddit. How about a solution for slower players to complete the drill room? Maybe an option to hire mercs. Appreciation for new features, but cautious optimism. I only got to play an hour. Can't wait to get home. Okay. That's such a random, weird quote. The rewards from bounty hunts are primed to be a pathway for legendary item hunters. Feature classification and changes during PTS. Every time I see PTS, I just keep thinking of PTSD. Sorry. Progress in PTS does not carry over to live servers. Right. So if you are playing on the test server, everything you do does not carry over. So that's annoying. The main quest line in Ohio is just the first chapter. Bethesda frames it as groundwork for future expansions or follow-on content. Russ King is the central antagonist and controlling force of the region, as confirmed by the notes. In public events gearing up, you fight alongside a beast, Deathclaw in training, and help armor it, making events feel more dynamic. So that's also another cool addition about gearing up a Deathclaw. But can you have that Deathclaw as your permanent companion or something? Because that would be pretty sick to have a Deathclaw as a pet. I love to have a Deathclaw as a pet. That would be sick. To have a Deathclaw at your camp, just rolling around and like attacking anyone who comes at you. That'd be sick. That would be rip. That would totally rip, bro. That would rip. Totally rips, man. In sinkhole solutions, event terrain hazards complicate the fight against rad scorpions and stingwings. Stingwings are annoying. The notes detail new legendary mods 1, 2, 3 star with unique effects, some tied to kill streaks, resistance, etc. Emote system. What else? What does actually Bethesda have on their own page about it? Huh. Yeah, see, over here on the actual Bethesda page, they have a bigger breakdown of the new legendary mods, which is cool. As mentioned above, you'll be able to earn items containing new and exclusive to bounty hunting. So these are mods you can only get if you do the bounty hunting. They have 1 and 2, 3-star mods. If you play the game, like me personally, I'm always getting legendary scripts so I can buy the mod upgrades. Essentially, it's just like a mod that you have until you have enough, then you can add it to your gun on the or to your armor on the workbenches. A new 1-star mod, Feral Melee Weapon. Kills make you more feral. Sniper's range weapon. 120% damage bonus to weak points while aiming down sights. I don't know. These feels like things that are already like there's a perk that does that, although it's not 120, but it's the same kind of thing. Adrenal weapon, 10% damage per kill while on a streak. Adrenal armor, 10% damage resistance while on a streak. Lucid armor, lucid weapon, increased damage up to 40% based on how full your feral sanity meter is. What does that mean? Are they gonna have a new meter now that says feral on it? Like, are you saying that there's a chance you could become feral? Because that sounds like a brand new thing I wasn't aware of. Lucid armor, increased damage up to 6% resistance based on how full your feral sanity meter is. This is the first time I've heard anything about a feral sanity meter. New 2-star mods. Pickpocketer's melee weapon. Kills have a 50% chance to award a small amount of caps. Painkiller armor. HP regen based on your kill streak. Rushing armor. Gain HP regen based on your kill streak. Elementus armor. +5 all resistances up to 25. Fierce armor only, not power. Fortify limb resistance while on a kill streak. New 3-star mods. Glowing weapon grants a small amount of rads. Healthy armor. Max HP increased up to 20. Reflect armor. Invade 2% evade. Active armor. Max HP is increased by +20. Barbarian melee. Plus strength per kill while on a kill streak. I don't know. Whatever this feral thing is not new. I just don't ever recall that being a thing. I've never played as a ghoul, so I don't know what that means. Do you mean you can play as a ghoul, but you got to start over? I'm not really sure what that means. What to keep on, what might change. What to keep an eye on, what might change. This is back over on Chat GPT. Given that much of this is still in preview, there are many areas where things could evolve or change. Difficulty tuning, balance adjustments, mods, enemy mutations, damage scaling, loot drop rates will be tweaked before full release. Will bounty hunting reliably produce powerful items or be punishingly rare? Performance and optimizations. On older consoles, lower hardware, new terrain, whether multiple enemy types could cause frame rate drops or glitches. Solo viability. Whether more challenging content is accessible to solo players or require group play only. How this expansion interacts with existing in-game system. Gleaming depths, raids, daily ops, etc. All right. That was a really great show. See you guys later.